Welcome to All Horse Racing All the Time. I'm your host, Al. The question comes back to Fierceness, the great 3-year-old cult. Is Fierceness the top 3-year-old of 2024? And what does he need to do? What can he do to cement top 3-year-old and possibly win Horse of the Year? We'll get to that, but first, coffee. Starbucks, original blend. Yeah, we're going with the motor oil today. Excellent coffee. Fierceness comes off the winner of the G2 Jim's Dandy Stakes at Saratoga, defeating Sierra Leone and actually pulling away from Sierra Leone at the finish at 1 1/8 miles. Where does he stand? His last big win was the Florida Derby, then now the Jim Dandy, which is definitely a big race to win here as far as top 3-year-olds go. It's a prep race leading into the Travers. Travers carries a tremendous amount of weight, the G1, August 24th at Saratoga. Well, Fierceness has been following that pattern. Great race, bad race, great race, bad race. And that continued right through to the Jim Dandy, where he delivered another great race, wins the race, defeats Sierra Leone. A lot of people, Sierra Leone fans, really kind of noses rubbed in it, that race. Obvious anger over the defeat at the hands of Fierceness. And Fierceness turns around and he was starting to pull away. That's 1 1/8 miles. So I'm hearing back in the comments of some of my videos. I'm hearing back in email, and some of these emails I'm getting obviously angry about the results of the race and slamming Fierceness. And even in the comments on some of the shows, I'm hearing one guy said he hates Fierceness. He hates Fierceness. Oh, he can't get, he doesn't win 2 in a row. He doesn't do this. And I hate him. I hate him. Sierra Leone's the ones that's going to win. You watch. How can you hate a horse? What did the horse do to you? Maybe you're one of these guys that went out there and lost betting Sierra Leone against Fierceness and the Jim Dandy, and you're one of these guys that lost your paycheck, right? And you're someone who gets paid every 2 weeks. Ice water in the veins, man. Ice water in the veins. Don't hate the horse. The horse didn't do anything to you. It's a great horse. And I have somebody else talking that, Sierra Leone is faster than Fierceness. Faster than Fierceness? Now, Fierceness put up his third 100-plus buyer speed figure, Thorograph, Ragazine sheets. He's running negative numbers compared to Sierra Leone, who never went negative before. And with those sheets, the lower the number, the faster the race. And if you're going negative, if you're going to say Sierra Leone is faster than Fierceness, Fierceness has run multiple races that are fast enough by the numbers that Sierra Leone might never even reach in his lifetime. And Fierceness was running these numbers as a 2-year-old and again as a 3-year-old. So on paper, comparing Fierceness on his best or average when he wins against Sierra Leone is like comparing a man against a child, 12-year-old child. Go play, pick up basketball somewhere and watch the man destroy the kid. That's what Fierceness is compared to Sierra Leone. Now, Sierra Leone is a very nice horse. Don't get me wrong. Runs a lot of races, has never missed the board. He's lost by a nose a couple times. but he's no Fierceness. Maybe he has better breeding. Somebody was saying, another comment, somebody was saying, oh, Fierceness, his breeding rights are not cemented in stone. I believe they are. Already won 2-year-old horse of the year, already shows he is wicked fast by the numbers. Yeah, Sierra Leone probably has better lineage. I'll give him that. And Sierra Leone is certainly gonna, Sierra Leone is already also stamped in stone as far as the breeding rights go, but Fierceness is too. So I wasn't off base there. Now, what does Fierceness have to do to win top 3-year-old of the year? I see a couple of paths. You could either go up to the Travers, and that is going to be a race of all time for 3-year-olds this year. Now I'm hearing that Aiden O'Brien is thinking of bringing in a horse from overseas to compete in this race. We got the filly McPeak already committed with Torpedo Anna, the filly running against the boys, and she is a dynamic filly, and she's something to behold. Although I hear, she got a little bit of pressure last race. Somebody was running up her ass at the end, but still, this one is something special, and she will be competing in the Travers, and now maybe Aiden O'Brien going. Of course, Sierra Leone be there. Mystic Dan, Sees the Gray, D. Wayne Lucas, bringing the horse back. Doesn't care if he ran 1 million times so far this year. And the others, and the Adornock. So everybody's going to be there. Hopefully, Fierceness goes. Maybe even Mindframe goes. Mike Napoleon Pletcher, he has 2 horses here that are very, very fast and have put up very big speed figures. And Mindframe, I believe, blew that race. He should have won the Belmont Stakes, and he drifted out and came back and narrowly lost. But you got the 2 Rapoli Pletcher entries, Fierceness and Mindframe. I hope they both go. Pletcher says they might have to both go. He's waiting. He's playing it a little bit, keeping us in the dark here, depending on their condition. He says he's been spacing them apart as far as not facing each other since he trains them both, and they're both the same owner in the same race. But he said even Todd came forward and he said, sometime I may have to put them both out there at the same time and let them settle the score on the track. So hopefully we get both Fierceness and Mindframe in that race, which will make for a great race. The Travers. That's one way Fierceness can win top 3-year-old, by winning the Travers. Maybe that alone is enough to give him top 3-year-old of the year with the Florida Derby, the G2 Jim Dandy, and the Travers, the G1. But it goes further. How can Fierceness win top 3-year-old and top horse of the year? Top horse of the year? Are you kidding me? National Treasure, White Abario. Maybe take the backdoor route. Win 3-year-old and horse of the year. It's a stretch, and this stretch includes Fierceness passing on the Travers Stakes. And here's how it goes. Fierceness goes, runs in the Pennsylvania Derby, another G1, not near the magnitude of the Travers, but it's still a G1 in writing, and that's going to count for something. Pennsylvania Derby always counts for something. Wins the Pennsylvania Derby, passes the Travers. Now, Fierceness has some time off, and he goes to the Breeders' Cup, doesn't enter the Breeders' Cup Classic, but enters the Breeders' Cup Mile. Kind of takes the backdoor route to Horse of the Year, like Cody's Wish did last year. Doesn't have a dying kid in the storyline. Okay, that's going to hurt a little, but still, Breeders' Cup Mile did get Cody's Wish, Horse of the Year last year. So Fierceness goes to the Breeders' Cup Mile, wins the Pennsylvania Derby. Breeders' Cup Mile, a G1. That should be enough to cement him top 3-year-old and maybe Horse of the Year. Because that would give him 3 G1 victories, a G2, a Breeders' Cup win, but it comes with a big if. And that if would be if some unknown or some horse that's really not ranked wins the Breeders' Cup Classic. And none of the 3-year-olds do it. None of the other 3-year-olds do it. National Treasure, throws a dud. White Barrio, the same. Somebody else who's really not ranked wins the Breeders' Cup Classic. And suddenly, if Fierceness wins the Breeders' Cup Mile, probably get top 3-year-old, pretty much guaranteed. But maybe even Horse of the Year based on the 3-year-old, on the G1s that he's won this year, 3 G1s. Food for thought. I believe Fierceness will win in the Travers, will run in the Travers. Will he win? I think he has a shot. And there was somebody else that was commenting, knocking Fierceness. He can't get the distance. He's never going to be good at breeding rights, and because he can't get a 1.25 miles. Okay, he hasn't so far. But what happened in the races he didn't? He got a bad start in every single race. Look at it. Hopped at the start, pinballed, stumbled at the gate. Even Todd Pletcher says, yeah, I could see what the naysayers are saying, but he has a legitimate excuse. He has legitimate excuses in his 3 losses. You think it's easy to overcome a good start in a horse race? Now, if you look at this last race, the Jim Dandy, for example, or even the Florida Derby, Fierceness was pulling away in these races at 1.125 miles, and he looked like he could have run another mile. So I'm not buying it just yet that he can't get 1.25 miles. And even if he can't get 1.25 miles, he's fast as hell and has put up figures that are faster than most of the best horses of all time have never put up. And he's only a 3-year-old, and he's done it a couple of times, and I don't know what his latest speed figure is. I do know he has a 103 buyer in the last. But as far as the Thoroughgraph and Ragozin sheets go, there's not many horses out there that are as fast as him. I mean, the fastest 2 that come to mind in recent memory are Flightline and White Barrio. Other than that, Fierceness is faster than them all. And we're talking 4 or 5-year-olds. So let's not be so quick to put Fierceness away. And it's something that gets me about some of these comments that come in on this Fierceness debate. I guess he's a lightning bolt, and he brings out the emotions in some people. Some of these posts are downright nasty or mean. Some taking shots at me. I'm out here for the good, out of the good of my heart doing these shows, just passing along information. And I know, I get it. Some people comment, they think it's cute. It's like the student trying to prove the professor wrong, right? In the case, me being the professor, I have a proven track record as a winning player going back over a dozen years now. And I'm out here passing along the information. Don't come after me. These are not, it sounds like these are the type of people I wouldn't want to sit down to dinner with or have a discussion with if they're, nasty and off the wall and throwing crap around. It's like, oh, geez, these angry people. But, hey, I guess it takes all kinds. But, for the most part, 99% of the people I interact with here on All Horse Racing all the time, channel's been out there now just over 2 years. We're over 5,200 subscribers. Thanks to everyone who's subscribed. 99% are great. And the horse racing people I have found over the years are some of the best people I have ever met. And it is a pure pleasure. But every once in a while, you get some blockhead out there. And if you're going to pass along these things, like Fierceness can't get the distance, or Fierceness doesn't have breeding rights, or Fierceness isn't faster than Sierra Leone, it's going to be a case of me, the professor, taking the student to task and just letting them know that their arguments or excuses don't hold any weight. They have a bigger hole in their side than the Titanic, which sunk in like 2 hours, a gigantic ship. And their arguments, they sink faster than a Titanic. It's like a body with cement block, throw it overboard. Doesn't take 2 hours to sink. It takes seconds. So that's just what I'm bringing out here, right now. I'm trying to help people improve their game with this channel. Listen up. Some people want to be the smartest person in the room. And one thing for these people want to be the smartest person in the room. If you're the smartest person in the room, as the saying goes, you're in the wrong room.